Jeopardy.
Yes.
You say E-Type, I'll ask a question.
Okay, E-Type.
What car did Enzo Ferrari say was the most beautiful car ever made?
The E-Type.
Exactly.
That's not how you play Jeopardy, but okay.
Which is why today on the Road Testament, JF Musial, Alex Roy, we're going to talk about
Jaguar.
Jaguar. I love Jaguar.
Me too.
And they don't get the credit they deserve.
No, that's today.
Today in the Road Testament.
You guys may be asking why today's episode looks a lot like last week's episode. Well, it's because we're filming it on the same day. Why? Well, because
we couldn't afford the green screen technology to fake it.
Right now, Alex and I are at the LA Auto Show preparing for Fastlane Daily. So,
we're in LA right now, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to them, because this is a Tuesday episode.
Jaguar, start the timer.
Okay, just like last week, because you guys, I guess, maybe like the timer. 7 minutes on the clock.
Just start.
It's like the clap. 7 minutes.
Did you know Jaguar's original company name was the Swallow Sidecar Company?
No, I did not.
And they had to change the name because the initials, SS...
That's right. That's why the D-Type was called the D-Type, because the XJSS was too similar to the Nazi SS.
That's right. Too similar. In fact, it was not just similar, it was identical.
Yeah, that's why they changed the name to the D-Type Jag, and I guess you're right, Jaguar.
But in the minds of anyone who really cares about, I guess, design, Jaguar's entire history started with the E-Type.
No.
Name a Jaguar before the E-Type.
XJ120.
Pretend you're a woman and name a Jaguar before the E-Type. There was none. Jaguar's history began with the E-Type.
Modern day history of Jaguar started with the E-Type. Not a lot of people know much before the E-Type. That's what you're trying to say.
Beauty in car design, according to the Museum of Modern Art, began and ended with the E-Type because that is the only car on display at the MoMA.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Look,
I love the E-Type.
Who doesn't?
The Series 3, the V12, one of my favorite cars ever. Actually, I've had the opportunity to drive an E-Type. Awesome car.
Can I say something really offensive and disgusting, but it's totally true?
What?
It's because the E-Type, for the same reason Enzo Ferrari, called it the most beautiful car ever made, it looks like a huge...
Okay. There's one thing that we can't ignore with Jaguar, though. It's that, yes, they're beautiful, but if you've driven old Jaguars, the E-Type is a perfect example. They're terrible cars.
Well, no, they're not. They're not terrible cars. They were terribly unreliable.
Yeah.
And everyone knows you should never, ever consider a Jaguar built before 1990-91 as a daily driver. You will get there less than 50% of the time. But remember that Jaguar's pricing in the 50s and 60s and even to the 70s, for the technology you got, for the power you got, the pricing was pretty reasonable. You got enormous engines.
Yeah.
You got, occasionally good cars and horrible electronics. And
But what's upsetting is that the company isn't what it used to stand for. Jaguar was known for racing. They had a huge motorsports background. What do they have now in racing?
Actually, I disagree with you. The company stands more today for what it was best at than for what it was known for. You're saying they were known for racing. They were actually known for unreliability. I'm going to say something right now today. I love Jaguar, but I think Jaguar is the most underrated brand in the car sector.
Bar none.
It has the most potential in the car sector. And if anything, Jaguar's cars today are unbelievably great values. The XF, the XJ, and the XK all come with excellent powertrains.
No, I'm not saying the cars are bad by any means, and I agree with you. There's a lot of potential with the Jaguar brand. They can go far beyond what they are at now. By any means, they are the company that has the most potential on the market today because they have that rich history. What I'm upset about is, for example, this year in ALMS, they've got the GT2 RSR race car. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Jaguar was known to be the racing brand.
Look,
Jaguar, little known fact, the first road race in America, NASCAR. The NASCAR road race in Linden, New Jersey, at the Linden Airport, Jaguar was the first foreign company to ever win a NASCAR road race.
Like, that's really great.
That's so bizarre and weird.
But the thing is,
so cool.
it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter, and we should pretend it doesn't matter, because no one who ever owned a Jaguar in this country, and this is the most important market in the world for luxury brands. I mean, well, maybe China is maybe going to be more.
Yeah, China's going to take over in 15 years.
But today, and going back decades, not one buyer of a Jaguar in this country probably ever knew that Jaguar raced a car. And in order for Jaguar to grow, especially now that they were bought by Tata, the Indian company, who's putting in $1 billion a year for the next 5 years to grow that market, Jaguar doesn't need to race. And in fact, they don't even need to be a technology leader.
Disagree with that.
Okay? What Jaguar needs to do is become the British Audi. That's what they need to do.
You're right about that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but why are we having this discussion? Well, because last week we talked about the CX-75 concept car, the all-electric, half-hybrid plug-in supercar.
They shouldn't bother.
Why?
Because that's not why people buy Jaguars. In fact,
that's leading technology. That's a reason why any brand will be resurrected.
Jaguar was never a technology leader, ever.
Okay.
What they were known for, you're saying racing, that's not what they were known. What they're known for was very powerful, luxurious sedans and one state-of-the-art, most beautiful ever coupe.
Okay.
And that's it. The whole lineage comes down to that. And people might remember the Saint car, like the XJ and some things like that. Today,
1 minute 30 seconds.
Jaguar XF is a slight redesign away from being the best
Do you like the
four-door money can buy.
What about the XJ? The new XJ?
New one? It is one generation away from being absolutely, not a category killer, because it's never going to be. It's Jaguar.
Yeah.
But it is the right car at the right time, incorrectly marketed.
I do like the interior. I got to drive the new XJ a few weeks ago. It's not there yet. I agree with you.
They're this close.
Yeah.
And
wrong materials used in the wrong places.
Current,
good design, just not put together right. It's just
the current
almost
XK.
There. I love the XK.
It's the dead weight of the lineup.
Oh, come on.
It looks like a 1995 Supra. Look.
You're buying Aston Martin design quality for half the price.
You're buying Toyota Supra design at twice the price.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Let me tell you something. The entire lineup is so close. They're one model away from getting it correct.
Well, and that one model's coming, and now that we've got like 45 seconds left, 18 seconds left.
The F-Type. 5 years late.
Yeah.
But never too late for Jaguar, because that's the car.
They need the Boxster competitor. They need the entry-level sports car, and that's what the F-Type will do. It's already been approved for production. We don't know when it's going to be here, but the F-Type, which is going to be like the old E-Type, time's up, which is going to be like the old E-Type.
One last thing on Jaguar.
That's the key.
They need to just unify the design language across the board, just 1%.
Yeah.
The way Audi did, and they brought it all together.
With the LED lights and the big mouth. Yeah, I agree with the design language needs one thread between it all.
One little thread. They're so close. And you know something? It's the truth about cars. Hit it nail on the head.
No, you can't talk about it. We're done. We're done.
Used Jags. 2 years from now, the buy of the century. XFR Supercharged.
Fastest Jaguar ever.
Enjoy the auto show. And I loved your tour of Porsche. It was a beautiful, beautiful video, dude.
The Porsche Museum.
Next week, LA Auto Show, and...
no LA Auto Show. That's this week.
Gumpert Apollo. Not.
They hate us.
I hate the Colonel XK. That thing makes no sense to me.
I like it.